Welcome to University College Cork, Ireland. Each year, the university awards Alumni Achievement Awards to individuals who have graduated from this university and who've gone on to achieve extraordinary successes in their lives throughout the world. The UCC Alumni Achievement Awards 2012 are being presented to 5 wonderful individuals, and this afternoon I'm in conversation with the recipient from the College of Arts, Celtic Studies and Social Sciences, Leanne OSullivan. Leanne graduated in 2005 and again in 2006 with 2 degrees from this university. And Leanne is an internationally renowned poet, best described by Nessa Umani in the Irish Times when she said that Leanne OSullivan's first collection, Waiting for My Clothes, was published when she was just 21 and was justifiably acclaimed for the extraordinary power of its language and the maturity of vision. Welcome, Leanne.
Thank you.
Leanne, tell us something about yourself.
Well, I'm from the Beara Peninsula in West Cork. I'm one of 7 children. There was a big house of us and had a fairly, normal upbringing and unconventional schooling, I suppose, from national school. My teacher then was the local historian and genealogist, and we learned through storytelling and walks and being outside and things like that, and wanted to do something creative, wanted to kind of participate in that, telling stories, and went on to secondary school, then Beara Community School, and left there in 2002 and arrived in the front door of UCC.
Why did you decide to come to UCC?
It was just always it was always a dream, actually. I had a picture of the quad. I suppose you have that image of a place of scholarship, of the university, and all I wanted to do was read books and have time to read English, and I applied. I actually applied through the Access programme, which has a different name now. I think it's UCC Plus.
That's correct.
And I got in through the Access programme, which was incredibly
And what
important.
precisely is that programme?
Well, it was, when I was applying for it, it was designed to help students who came from socio-economically disadvantaged areas. Okay. And at the time, Castatown-Bear was in that position, and it was a wonderful programme, actually, because I wasn't very academically minded in school. Exams and things like that, they would have to try very hard to keep me in the room to do exams and do homework and things like that. But the Access programme, I think it's called the UCC Plus programme now, they would look at your whole profile, your character. You'd submit letters of reference. I had poems and competitions and things like that I, could show what I can offer the university besides CAO points, so I got in through. I actually didn't get the points, the CAO points to get into UC. I don't know if it's okay to
No,
say
that's
that.
absolutely perfect. It's a wonderful programme, and it
was,
picks up people like you.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was invaluable, and so I didn't get the CAO points, but I got in through Access or UCC Plus.
And you chose to study English?
I in first year I chose English, philosophy, Greek and Roman, and archaeology. So
when did you mentioned there when you applied that you submitted poems that you had composed and things that you had written. When did you first start to write?
I started to write when I was very small, just before I started school. I loved holding a biro and making squiggles on the page and imagined that they were stories, and then later on, just stories for school. I suppose creativity, creative writing was very much nurtured in the national school, in the primary school, and started writing poetry then when I was about 12 or 13 in secondary school.
And can you recall the first time that you realised that what you were writing was significant, or at least interesting to others?
I think we're still waiting. Well, I think I felt, it mattered to me first of all. I think your relationship with your your work is the most important one, and if you feel that you can work it and kind of apprentice yourself to it, and you're trying always to write the poem, and but I think that happened for me when I was about 17 or 18, where I felt I wanted to work at it and try and make the poems as effective as possible, and write the best that I could write.
Well, there is no doubt you have written at this point several collections and have won many awards. Tell me about some of those awards.
The first award I won when I was in secondary school. It was the National Poetry Competition and I won the secondary school division of that competition, and it was a wonderful. I mean, because I was just completely lacking in any academic talent, and it was a lovely, because the school got a prize as well. They got money for the library, and my English teacher, who was brilliant, huge encouragement, came up to Dublin, and we met Mary McAleese, the president at the time, and it was just something unexpected. And then and most recently then the UCC Alumni Achievement Award. The Rooney Prize would have been another highlight, and just unexpected as well. That's the real award, is, oh my God. Didn't see that coming at all. So.
What did you feel when you heard that you were the recipient of the 2012 UCC Alumnus Achievement Award?
I was at home in Beara in my parents' house, and the letter came in, and I just said, Dad, guess what? And just completely stunned, just overwhelmed, because my time at UCC was so important for me, and giving me time to read and time to write, and opening. I mean, from when when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I suppose my reading would have been very narrow, and was getting whatever books I could. But coming into UCC and looking at literature in a different way, being exposed to different subjects as well within the English department, like post-colonial literature or Caribbean literature and things like that. I thought it was so exciting and different, and Derek Walcott and all of these wonderful voices. So the connection with UCC was always so special, and
does it continue to this day?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
In what way, Leanne?
I'm a regular user of the library still, actually. Okay. Wonderful collections, Q+3, you can find me up there until lunchtime a lot of days, and the people as well in the English department, Professor Coughlin, Eamon O'Carrigan, Professor O'Carrigan, who has since retired, but would have my first lecture with him. He read from Beowulf, and the girl I was sitting next to, we didn't know each other, and we just went, oh my God, and we were just hooked, and we remained great friends, actually, myself and that girl.
United through poetry.
Yeah, and it was his passion, actually, for the subject, and I thought that's real scholarship, not just doing the work, but feeling it and having that enthusiasm, and being able to transmit that then to a room full of like 500 students, 400 students. So
do you feel that your talent and your passion was nurtured here?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Through the teachers and the access to the scholarly material and so on.
Yeah, and the English department, the staff were so approachable as well, and they when I found out I was having a book published, they hosted a book launch for me in the English department, and the library staff. I remember she's since retired, Olivia Fitzpatrick, and then the Access programme as well. They were always incredibly supportive, and yeah.
The university has brands itself as having a tradition of independent thinking. What would you say? How has your experience enabled the reinforcement of that brand? Does it resonate with you?
Yeah, I think I suppose I majored in English, so the English department would be my frame of reference there, and just the staff, the lecturers, the staff there, they were just so approachable and open-minded as well. My book, my first collection of poems, came out when I was still in college, and they all came to my book launch in the city, and then hosted one in UCC, and but my poems ended up on the Anglo-Irish poetry course that I had signed up for and was taking anyway, and I came in, and it was Professor Alex Davis was lecturing on a couple of my poems, and it was very, very strange. It was very surreal, and I don't think anyone in the room really knew that I was there, which was nice as well. But then I had the opportunity as well to answer on myself in the exams, and I thought, because exams would still have frightened me quite a bit, I thought, could I appeal it if I failed or did quite badly in the English paper? Could I say, well, actually, I think I know the answer to this?
Leanne, what other poets were on the curriculum that year?
Oh my gosh, Seamus Heaney was of course. There were other Cork poets as well, but I think I just remember the option of answering on myself.
On your own,
I decided to answer on Seamus Heaney, and I did okay, actually. I didn't do too badly. So.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Leanne, what's next for you? What are you busy with now?
I finished a collection of poems last year, so I've been taking a bit of a break, doing a bit of teaching, and hopefully get into writing now again in the new year. I'll be teaching with Adult Ed, UCC in the new year as well, and some other teaching in the city and the UK. And
so are you doing things internationally as well? You just mentioned the UK.
Yeah, I teach regularly for the Arvon Foundation. I just back from New York in between storms. The Irish Poetry Fest was on out there, so I'd be buzzing around the place a little bit. Yeah.
So poetry and the composition of poetry runs in your blood.
I don't know. My grandmother would say it's from her side of the family, but I think growing up in a house that was very musical and full of stories and songs and characters, and yeah.
From what do you mainly draw your inspiration?
People, my family, relationships. Where I'm from, Michael Longley, the Belfast poet, said if I knew where poems come from, I'd go there. And I think for me, I kind of know where my poems come from, because it's in the very much in the landscape, in the Beara landscape, and in the family and yeah.
I think it's a privilege for us at University College Cork that you chose to study here. It's a privilege for us that you continue to come to the university and use the resources which are at your disposal here. And it's a privilege for us that you are one of the greatest ambassadors for the university. I think it's wonderful also that the inspiration from which you draw is the beautiful coastline not too far from University College Cork. Thank you, Leanne.
Thank you.